Welcome to Connection Card Pro. In this short video, I will show you how to record an expense in your Connection Card Pro ledger. When you're logged in, go to Financials, Create Expense Record. If you do not see these options, it is possible that you do not have permission to access the financial features, and you'll need to speak with another administrative user associated with your account and ask them to grant you permissions. Once on the Record Expenses page, the first thing you should check is your account register. This is the account where the transaction is taking place, most likely a bank account, petty cash envelope, or a credit card. Once you've selected the correct register, next enter the date of this transaction. Payee is who this expense is being paid to, whether an individual or a company. You can add a new company by clicking Add Company, or to add individuals, go to Persons, Add Person. If your method of payment is a check and you want to record the check number, or if you have some other reference or transaction number such as an invoice number or a PayPal ID, you can enter that in the check number field. Memo description is any text which will appear in your registers to help you identify this transaction. Then enter a payment amount. Choose which account this transaction is associated with. If this is an expense transaction, it will likely be associated with an expense account, for example, utilities. However, if you're refunding a donation or sale, then this may be associated with an income account. If you're recording a payment you made from your checking account toward a credit card account, then the account associated with this transaction will likely be a credit card account. I'll come back to that in a second. Next, select the fund that this transaction is associated with. Then, you can enter any number of tags, or no tags at all. Tags can be used to associate an expense with an existing department or division to help you track a single department's spending. You can also create an unlimited number of custom projects, purposes, or fundraisers and associate this expense with one or more of those tags. Lastly, you can associate a tax classification tag to help you create reports at tax time, or you can choose additional attributes such as the payment method used for this expense. To add tags to this transaction, just start typing and select the one that you want. To create or edit tags, go to Financials, Tags. Then select what you'd like to do next from the drop-down and click Save Expense. Before saving, there are a few additional options on this page as well. If the original transaction was in a different currency than what your fund is in, and you've already converted this amount at the bank or online, then you can click this currency exchange icon above the amount. This will give you the option to enter the original currency of the transaction as well as the exchange rate that you received at the bank. If you wish to split this transaction across multiple accounts, click Split Transaction. Select the accounts and enter the amount for each account. The sum of the amounts entered here must equal the payment amount above. The percentage field is provided to help you quickly calculate amounts. However, the amount shown in the amount field is the amount that will be used in case of any weird percentages or rounded numbers. So please always check that the amount in the amount field is correct and refer to the total and amount remaining as well. Lastly, you can optionally choose to make this a batch transaction. A batch transaction will create and save multiple transactions starting on the initial date of the transaction above and ending on the end date included here. You can specify a frequency for this transaction as well. This is useful if you're new to Connection Card Pro and have a donor who gave $1,000 a week for the last year. Wouldn't that be nice? Rather than entering each one individually, you can use Batch Record to create a new transaction for each week over the past year. One last thing. With regard to credit card transactions and paying credit card bills, our recommendation for efficiency and record keeping would be as follows. At the time that the purchase is made, record the transaction as an expense on your credit card register. This will increase the amount owing on your credit card account, and you can select an expense account to associate the charge with a specific expense account or any other tags. This gives you a proper record of liabilities outstanding. At the end of your billing cycle for your credit card, you likely now have many transactions from many expense accounts and across multiple departments owing on that card. You've already recorded the transactions and associated each one individually with their own expense accounts, so there's no longer any need to sort through purchases and statements. If you've now decided to make a payment on the card, whether the entire balance or a partial payment, select the checking account or other bank account that you are making the payment from as the register. Enter the payment amount, and under the account, select the credit card account. Saving this transaction will decrease the amount in your checking account by the amount that you paid. It will also decrease the amount owed on the credit card by the amount that you paid. There is no need to do a split transaction and match up parts of this payment with different expense accounts because you've already associated each transaction individually with those expense accounts. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you for watching and for using Connection Card Pro.